Financial Friday number 6, y'all. Help me. It's a lot. Hello, budget girls and guys. Thank you so much for watching these videos. They're becoming some of my favorite to do, which is interesting because I thought that, I don't know what I thought, but I did not think that these would be as well received as they have been. So thank you very much, and I love hearing your questions. I love answering your questions. It's a lot of fun to be able to help you guys figure some of this stuff out that I had to do the hard way. So here we go. Bobby Alda Morano says, love your videos. Do you ever do couponing? I could see you as an extreme couponer. I do not coupon anymore. I tried for a while. I did all of those websites where like they match up all of the coupons to the deals to the and how they help you stack the manufacturer coupons on top of the store sales on top of like the store coupon. And you know what? I don't think it worked out for me once. I'm not saying it doesn't work out. His and Her Money was actually on one of those websites, on one of those TV shows, and they obviously did it to great success. But now, I've tried before in Hammond where there were a bunch of stores around, and it seemed like every time I went to get the thing, they were completely out. So I don't know if I was in an area with a bunch of couponers or what. It took so much time, so much energy, and so much printer ink basically to get things that I didn't even really need. The things that I generally buy on a weekly basis were not the things that were on sale, and I just kind of gave it up. I price match now at Walmart if I see a good deal, and I shop cheaply. I buy the store brands, I buy whatever's the best deal, and beyond that, as long as I can fit it within my $50 a week budget, I am at peace with it. Now, if there's a coupon sticking on the box, I'm gonna grab it and make them scan it, but I don't go out of my way to get coupons anymore. I just don't find it worth it. I don't have the time. And I know some people that, or I've heard of people that do it to much success, and I am so happy for them. But I work about 60 hours a week, and I do this stuff, and I've got other stuff going on, and it hasn't, every time I've tried, it's worked out really, really badly for me. So I don't do that anymore. But I am more the power to anyone that can do that and figure it out and help get their budget down. I am so proud of you if you can do that. It's just not for me. All right, Megan Becknell, who I actually know from college, she says, where do you pick the long E in pecan? Because I said pecan pie last week in last week's video. And which is weird because I'm Southern, I'm from Mississippi, but my parents are from New Hampshire. Now, I've never even been to New Hampshire, but I was raised saying pecan and deer and not drinking sweet tea. I still don't drink sweet tea. It's just not a thing. Like, I don't get it. All right. Paula Lucas says, OMG, do you realize how many people wish they were under 20K in debt like you are? This is so wonderful. I am so pumped. And I know there are a bunch of people out there that wish they were under 20K in debt. And they can get there. I know they will. Like Chris and Jackie, I know you guys will get there. It'll be here sooner than you think. And I know there are people out there. I saw somebody comment on one of my videos that they had $5,000 in debt. And I was like, oh, I wish. But yes, thank you guys for helping me celebrate. I know any amount of debt is really just kind of soul crushing, so to different degrees, but to me it's pretty soul crushing, and I'm just happy I'm getting out of it. So thanks for supporting me, and I'll continue to support you guys. Genevieve Heater says, I'm proud of you. What, if anything, can your subscribers do to get YouTube to owe you more? I get this question a lot, so I wanted to address it. And thank you so much. That is such a sweet question. I've mentioned this in other videos because a lot of you guys ask me, how do I get paid? Do I get paid by views or subscribers or whatever? And right now I'm not doing any sort of sponsored ads or content, anything like that. I don't sell any t-shirts. I don't promote any products. I'm not against it, but no one has approached me with a product that I was willing to promote. So, and I do get approached on stuff like that. I've gotten approached by like credit card places before, and I'm like, go, just no thanks, no thanks. No, I'm not gonna endorse anything that doesn't support that isn't in line ethically with what I talk about and what I promote, and there's something in my eye. The best way that you guys can support me is I get paid by the ads that run before my video. So before you watch this video, there was a little ad, and you can click skip after 5 seconds, and I get paid for you watching that ad. So I do get paid a little bit more if you don't skip the ad and you watch the whole thing, but I will be completely honest, I watch YouTube a lot, and unless it's like a channel of somebody that I know, I skip the ad. So yeah, I get paid through that. So the more people that watch my videos, the more people that see the ads, the more money I make. And so the best way that you can support me is to like and share my videos. That way YouTube knows that you guys like the content that I'm producing, and they'll show it to more people. They'll suggest it to more people. So thank you so much for thinking of me and wanting to help me support my channel. That is so kind. Thank you. Gazelle Intense, I was just talking about them, said, it made me super happy for you when you said you won't have debt in 2018. How cool will that be? It's gonna be so cool. Okay, I'm good. Rory just got happy too. There she is. There she is. She's gonna be super happy when we're debt free, because that means she gets a bigger puppy budget for bones and dog treats. Alexa Brianna says, can you do a 2016 goals video? Totally! I have to finish this year though first and make some 2016 goals. I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to get my house in a place where I can do Christmas and get a last paper out of the newspaper. I mean, it's kind of kicking around back there. It's like, it's fermenting. It'll get there. It'll ding. And I will be thrilled to show you guys what I am working on. Safe Pet Haven says, congratulations for your hard work, accomplishments, and transparency. Yes, even though the childlike brat phases, it's human and recoverable. This was on my November review video where I admitted that I hadn't been reconciling my budget because I was pouting that I had to buy a car and I couldn't make my 10K 2015 goals. And I love how many of you guys understood me really kind of better than I understood myself at that point. And y'all were just so kind to me. She said it's human and recoverable. The fact that you acknowledged it and did not succumb to it and learn from it was a lesson learned. You're being an excellent model for those similarly trying to dig out from under debt. Now, this happens a lot. You guys in the comments kind of explained what I was trying to better than I did. And I love it when you do that. I didn't want to hide from you that I was pouting, because that's kind of a normal process when you don't meet a goal. You have to wallow in it for a second. And, but a lot of you said, thank you for being transparent about that. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's, you know, pouting on it and getting mad is a part of life, and it's a part of money a lot of times. So, showing you that I was, and admitting that I didn't reconcile my budget for like 4 weeks. I'm really glad that that kind of hit home to some of you, that it's not all sunshine and rainbows over here. I have a really hard time sometimes with it too. And it's okay to do that as long as you're like, yes, I'm being a whiny baby. Acknowledge it. Move on. Let's get it done. So thank you for understanding that better than I did. All right. Hulda 2002 says, don't forget you got the new computer this year as well. You're doing really well. When I subscribed this year, my debt total was $28,000. Never again. My emergency fund goal is to have a month's worth of cash, at least as a buffer, about $2,300 according to today's currency. The $1,000 would be a little too small, especially if some big appliances go out. When you're single, it's better to be covered than to go into debt. In 2016, if you pay $1,640 per month, you can be done. Hopefully. Oh, I wish. But I only make $2,200 a month, so paying $1,640 to my debt is not really a feasible thing. I wish I could, but I've been able to do about $800 to $1,200 a month, and hopefully I'll be able to keep doing that, and my debt-free date will just keep getting closer. Just keep getting closer as I learn to cut more and make more and all sorts of stuff. It's happening, people. I'm trying real hard. Alright. Trudy Smith says, I love watching your videos. Do you know of an app for an iPad that will allow you to input your receipts? I keep them now in a notebook, but it would be very convenient if I could find a free app for my iPad mini. Basically, what I'm looking for is a free check register app for my iPad mini. I don't have an iPad, and I don't know about that. In the comments below, if you guys have iPads and know of something like that, please mention it, because our girl Trudy is looking for something like that. I do know that Dave Ramsey's Every Dollar app can connect to your bank account for a fee of, I think, $100 a year, and it will import your transactions, and maybe that would work like this. I don't know of like a scanner app or anything that would take it and put it automatically into your budget. YNAB, I think, also imports your, you need a budget. Their software, I think, also imports your balances. But if you're already keeping your receipts in a notebook, it probably would not be that hard to just input that total into your budget like I do and most people do. And that might not work for you, but maybe somebody in the comments will know of a free check register app for your iPad mini. Help me out, because I don't do that. Alright, Alright, Lydia Laib, L-A-I-B, asked, I've recently started using the once-a-month meal service that Debt is Dumb recommended. So far I love it, but I wanted to know your thoughts on it and if you're considering trying it. I think it's absolutely fantastic that Debt is Dumb has found something like this that works for them. I did check it out, and the recipes are all free. And, you know, recipes everywhere else are pretty much free unless you buy them in a book. And the plans that they have for people with special dietary needs look really interesting. And I can see how, like, picking out a bunch of recipes for that particular diet would be a useful service. I think the main thing you're paying for there, the $10 a month, is for them to give you basically a grocery list of what you need and how much of it you need. And then I think instructions on how to make each thing a freezer meal. I'm not going to do something like that, not because I have anything against it, other than the plastic bag thing. You basically need like 30, 40 plastic bags a month, and that's a lot of plastic to be using, and it just seems like a lot of plastic to be throwing away. Though one commenter did say that when she does freezer meals, she does them in glass containers, so that could be an alternative as well. I'm just not going to put $10 of my $200 food budget into getting someone else to make a list for me when I'm perfectly capable. But here's the thing, I don't have a special diet. I can eat basically anything. I'm not gluten intolerant, I'm not paleo, I'm not vegan or anything like that. So I can see how someone developing those meals for you would be a really would be easy, especially if you have a big family. I've looked at basically meal planning apps before, and I'm not restricted, but I'm picky. And it seems like whenever I see those websites where they're like put together a menu for you for a week or a month or whatever, I'm like, don't like that, I need to sub out something. And that just, That's just not going to work for me. Because if I have to do all that, why wouldn't I just, put together my own meal plan? It's really not that hard to go to Pinterest and all recipes or look in a cookbook and be like, I want to try this, and then write down the ingredients I need. So, yeah. I also, I know everyone says they don't have 3 days at the beginning of the month to cook all the food, or they don't have the freezer space, and I don't see really those as good excuses because you could do it in parts. But I'm really good, I think, with the plan. What I have going on now is where I make a meal plan for a week. I go out and grocery shop for it, and then I make all my lunches and do a little bit of meal prep in a couple hours on Sunday night. It's not that big of a deal, and also I can adjust things as I go because, excuse me, when I was doing 2 weeks at a time meal planning, I'd feel very trapped in what I had planned. It was good. It saved me a lot of money. But I'd see like a recipe for something I wanted to try and be like, oh yeah, maybe if I think of it in 2 weeks. And I didn't. So now if I see a recipe, I can be like, oh, I can put that on a list, try it next week. And I will. And that just works out really well for me. So I like the way I'm doing it. Everyone has to find their own way to do it. Totally try it if you like. And use Dennis Dumb's referral link, please. If it's working for them, it might work for other families. Just little old me by myself, really, whatever. All right. Linda Wilson asked a really hard question. BG, I like your sparkly top. Thanks. I'm not wearing it today, but I know which one you're talking about. Under what, if any, circumstances would you cut your church tithe? Would you ever discard it completely, even if only temporarily? Linda, I have been thinking about this question all week, and it's a doozy. It's a hard one. My faith, as little as it is at times, tells me that I am supposed to tithe 10% to church. And if I'm not going to a church, I find a charity organization or something and I give that as my tithe. I have not paid the full 10% in the past. When I was living in Hammond, I was paying about 7%, and I had prayed about that, and I felt like God was good with that. There really wasn't any room to budge in my budget. And here, since I got the raise, I felt like I needed to pull it up to a full 10%. And that's $220 a month. That's a lot of money, especially in my budget. When I'm only making $2,200, 10% of that's a lot of money. That could get me out of debt probably 4 or 5 months faster. But I can't think of many circumstances where I would cut that completely. Even in times of spiritual valleys, because I believe it's something that God wants me to do. I believe it's a way that I can kind of stay in touch with Him in my faith. And the only way I think I would probably cut that is if I were completely broke. And I mean completely broke as in homeless. Where I wasn't getting any money. I didn't have anything to tithe. But I also don't think that I'm ever going to get to that point. Knock on wood. Because I'm living a better lifestyle now. So, hard question. I really, really thought about it. And I'm going to say, for the foreseeable future, no. I cannot think of a circumstance where I would cut completely my tithe out. And I hate saying nevers like that, but where I am right now and where I can see myself going in the future, I can't see myself cutting my church tithe out. So I just want you to know I gave a lot of serious thought to that question. Tell me what you think below. All right. Last question. No, second to last question. I'll do 2 more. Jessica Landa says, excellent content as usual. Thank you. How frequently do you enter debit transactions / reconcile your receipts against your budget? Is it at the end of the day, the week, or just prior to your end of the month report? Jessica, have you been reading my diary? Because I would very much like to say that I reconcile my transactions every time I make a transaction, but I'd be lying. It comes closer to every couple of days to every week. I've been doing this for so long now that it's really hard for me to screw that up. Like in last month's video I showed, I didn't reconcile my budget for a month and I still didn't go over because I just know how much I have. Like, I know I've only got $40 a month to eat out. It's, you know, I go out to eat twice and I'm like, alright, I'm done. Well, you might be able to get McDonald's. Even if I don't actually do the math in my head, I've done so many months on this budget. And, you know, groceries is easy too. I always calculate that to $50. So, even though I didn't come back home and put in $50 into my budget, I didn't go over. Or I think I went over like $1.98. Something like that. You know, normal little, I forgot I purchased something thing. So ideally when you're starting, you need to do it every day. Every single time you make a purchase, you need to put it in to the budget and get your new total and keep that in your head, which is what I did for like the first year and a half. Close to, yeah, like first year and a half at least, or else you forget stuff. And then at the end of the month, you're like, I don't have any more money, what happened? And you can't find it. And especially if you're using cash, that can be really hard because you're like, what happened to my money? Where did it go? I don't know. If you're using your debit card for everything, which is what I generally do, you can always look at your online bank account and see where you purchase stuff. But that is really important to reconcile your budget, because if you know where you spent, and you can chastise yourself at the end of the month and be like, I didn't pay attention, I went over here, I shouldn't have done that, then you're less likely to do it again the next month. So, right now I'd say I'm probably reconciling about once a week. I went to Wendy's on Tuesday with a friend, and on Wednesday I input it in. And what I generally do is I take my receipt and I put it in my wallet, and then when I put the receipt in put the amount in the budget, I throw the receipt away. And so if I'm backlogged, I'll have like a big stack of receipts, and if I'm up to date, I won't have any. I'll just have whatever cash I'm carrying in the envelopes in there. So I hope that answered your question. Zulu says, I'd like to ask about the online bank account. If you transfer money from an online for only account to your current checking account, does the money transfer instantly, or does it take 24 hours or so to show in your checking account? Also, what about the safety of online accounts? What happens if the bank went into some sort of trouble? Do they guarantee your money if they happen to close for any reason? Okay, I mentioned how I keep my sinking funds in the last video separate. I use a Capital One 360 online only bank. It used to be called Ing. It's an interest-bearing checking that doesn't have any fees. Not a sponsor, but I've used them for years, and what I love about it is that when you open a checking account with them, you can open as many savings accounts as you want. And so in my, when I pull up the thing, I can see a checking account, and I see like 10 or so savings account, and they're all labeled Operation Christmas Child, Pig Fest Fund, Christmas Fund, Emergency Fund, and I can see how much money I have in each of them, and it makes doing my sinking funds a snap, because all I have to do is do a transfer from my account to one of the others. Now, in addition to that, I do have a local banking account, and it does take a few days to transfer from my local bank account to Capital One 360 or vice versa. But in the actual Capital One 360, it's instantaneous. If you transfer something from your checking account to one of your sinking funds, instant. If you need to transfer something out, instant. Now, I do have a debit card through them, and because I can instantly take any money out of the savings accounts and put them into the checking, I have instant access to that money. So I don't normally have an issue with having to transfer money back and forth. Every once in a while, in Hammond, I used to have, I think it was $300 go to, I had auto deposit, whatever that is called, and I had most of my money go to my local bank account where I did all my normal spending out of, and then I had a portion of it go to my Capital One 360 account, and it was autoed out. And then I just stuck the sinking funds in. And you can also set it to where it automatically does your sinking fund deposits. I don't do that. I like moving the money myself, but that's just a personal preference. I like feeling it when I save. So because I have a debit card for my local bank and for my online bank, I never really have an issue with needing to transfer money between the two. I always have access to the funds that I need. So yes, it does take a second, like 3 days, to transfer between your online bank account and your normal bank account, but that's not really an issue for me, since you do have a debit card for each one if you do need to access your funds. Alright. Oh, and safety guarantees of online accounts. Online banks are completely FDIC insured. Just Capital One 360 is completely FDIC insured. It's a legitimate bank. They just don't have brick and mortar facilities. So because they don't have brick and mortar facilities, that's how they are able to give you interest on the money you keep with them instead of charging fees. And yes, the government guarantees all the money in there, even if they go out of business. So good question. And that's the last question for today. I hope you guys are still enjoying these Finance Fridays. I did have about a page and a half, or maybe about a page of questions that I was unable to get to today just because video length. But ask more questions below. If I did not get to your question today, I do have it. I will get to it. It's going in my kind of pile. If you really, really want to answer it right away, ask it again. Alright, so thank you guys for being with me. Next Friday's Christmas! So, ask Christmas-themed money questions, or New Year's themed money questions or something, because I will make the time to sit down and do a Finance Friday video for you guys. So, I'll see you soon. Bye!